Hello, this is Emran Chibishi. He is Imran Mukhtar, and this is Sbc Goalsphere. We're gonna wrap up match day 2 of the Premier League, and yeah, let's pull up the standings. So Imran, your Manchester United dropping points, Chelsea beating Arsenal comfortably, Liverpool beating Burnley, Tottenham getting a narrow 1-0 win over what was it? Wolves.
Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah. Everton and Leeds tying 2-2 in a fantastic match. Villa getting their first win of the season. Leicester and West Ham both odd one wins. They play tomorrow. So we couldn't get that done. We couldn't record after that game. So we're go ahead and doing it today. But that should be a good game. Yeah. And Arsenal losing, of course. Oh, Man City and getting their first win of the season. So Imran, thoughts on Manchester United dropping points at Southampton?
Yeah, it was really disappointing. Like the performance, especially in the first half, was just awful. Like Matic and Fred, they were just losing the ball in dangerous positions, or like we're trying to attack, and they keep messing it up. Like Fred was just horrible, especially Fred. I mean, the first half, like there was really like barely any chances except like from set pieces a few times. I mean, it got better in the second half, but it's still not good enough. I don't know why Van de Beek didn't come on. I just
The thing is, it
like
got better. It got better in the first
for the
20 minutes.
yeah, and then
That's
it got worse, and then like
it
and
was
then
worse. I thought the last 15 minutes was worse than the first half. Personal opinion, because that should be when United go and pull everything out of the game. And in fact, they allowed Southampton to get the two best chances of that last 15 minutes. That Armstrong, um, and then the corner kick that came from it, where Armstrong was on the back post and he just had to flick it out. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, you know, United should be disappointed because people say you're gonna drop points, but you shouldn't be dropping points this early into the season against mid-table team. When people say, of course, you could drop points to mid-table, that's when you're in the middle of the season. You're playing, against when you have European football. It's easy to drop a few points here and there, lose some games as a title contender, but you cannot be drawing this early into the season. It's just flat out inexcusable if United legitimately think that they are title. Is my voice messing up?
now I can hear you.
Yeah, if United legitimately think that they're title contenders, and yeah, just disappointing performance from Manchester United. Some of the problems they had were same from last season. Lack of creativity, lack of being able to break down a low block for long stretches, and that's the thing too. When they're most um, Van de Beek, you got on the Van de Beek thing. Bringing in Jesse Lingard and McTominay when you're chasing a game, when you have Van de Beek who's screaming. Southampton, they did attack, but second half they played a low block. Let's be honest, they played a low block, and Van de Beek is probably the most technical guy on the team besides Pogba. Someone who move the ball around, someone who takes someone on, playing the tight spaces. He is the best player on the team besides Pogba. So he brings on Lingard and McTominay instead.
Lingard was
That
at the end. Like I still hated that, but like
I still,
the
why not Van de Beek? Wait,
yeah,
it makes no sense to me. Wait, didn't Lingard come in 78th minute, or was it later?
it might have been like 84th or something. Like
Okay,
that's
it
not
doesn't
it.
matter. How does Van de Beek not play? This is the game that Van de
Yeah,
Beek is made for, that second half. It doesn't make sense to me. His technique, ability to play tight spaces. He moves the ball quickly. He can find that pass. Besides Pogba, he's the most technical player United has got. And that's the thing too. I didn't think Pogba and Fernandez got on the ball enough in dangerous areas in that second half. I think the one time they did, it led to the goal. Like they didn't get on the ball enough in those dangerous areas. United, they were crying out for a technical winger, a creative winger, which they got. But even I know it's his first.
first of all, he should have started too. Like
I know that's another. That's we'll get to that. We know that he should have. Um, he didn't get on the ball enough. He didn't do what he does at Dortmund. I know it's his first game, and we shouldn't be judging and all that, but still, but eventually, I mean, yeah, it's unfair to judge him right now. I'm just saying, like, you know, I should be throwing out the blame for other players. It's a little unfair to throw blame at him. Let me get back on the Van de Beek thing. Um, Playing Matic and Fred because you have to protect Lindelof and Maguire while Varane is right there on your bench, still doesn't make sense to me. I know you don't usually sub in center backs and stuff. Okay, Varane is not ready to play 90 minutes right now in the Premier League, right? Why not play him in the second half? Put him in the second half. Take out Lindelof or Maguire, whichever one he decides. They were both pretty bad in my. Well, they weren't bad.
Maguire's
That bad.
worse.
No, they weren't that bad. I don't think Lindelof was bad. I thought Maguire was bad in possession. He turned the ball over a couple times. Another thing, Man United in the midfield and even the center backs, and the fullbacks too, way too calm in possession. Way too calm. Turning all over the ball. Luke Shaw a couple times, just going down the field, not finding an outlet, just doing some, especially later in the game. They need to be more calm with the ball. Not more calm, but more stable with the ball. Turning it over too much. Turning over. You got to be more, what's the word?
Cautious.
Yeah, more cautious. Maguire got caught off, and that almost led to a goal. It was just, that was not good for Manchester United. But what was I on right now? What was I talking about before I
Van
left
de
that?
Beek. Van de Beek. Right.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, Van de Beek. And I would have brought on Varane. If Varane, let's say Varane's not ready to play 90 minutes, right? Take out Varane. I mean, take out Lindelof or Maguire, whichever. Put Varane, and then take out Fred and bring in someone who's more attacking. Van de Beek would have been the perfect option, but if he wants to go with Jesse Lingard or something, so what? I mean, I'm not going to complain, but I will complain if Van de Beek doesn't see the field at all, and if you keep Fred in for how long now? How many minutes?
Too much. Whatever it's like. I was thinking. I was so
Honestly,
frustrated. I was thinking, please bring on Van de Beek at halftime.
When did the
Like,
substitute came? 78th minute? That was like 30 minutes too long. Or whatever. He should have been subbed off at halftime. It
was that bad. Yes.
It makes no sense. You could tell Matic, he can't play at this level for 90 minutes. At the end of the game, got ran around. His touches were bad. He turned over the ball a couple of times. He's a shell of himself.
He got a little better in the second half, but
he can't. No, the last 15 minutes, he got ran over. He can't play 90 minutes anymore at this level. Sorry to say, they need a center defensive midfielder. And when is Varane and Jadon Sancho going to start? Overall, disappointing performance for Manchester United. Not enough creativity to break down a low block. Same problems that they had last year. Went a goal down behind on the road. Came back to tie, but now there's no fans, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get that extra to win the game against Southampton. So because now there's fans, you can't get away with going down on the road. Your most best situation is probably going to be a tie. In fact, you got to say, with the chance that Armstrong had, they were lucky to get a point, because that's a one-on-one. That's De
Gea saved us.
Clinical striker should put that in the back of the net. De Gea saved there, even though I did think it was a poor finish. It was a good save, very good save, but I did think it was a poor finish because it wasn't really testing him. But disappointing performance for Manchester United, and title contenders cannot drop points. And I think this loss is on Ole. Just saying, sorry, because not just on Ole, because it's not like
he just mismanaged the bad. Like to start, starting lineup, I didn't like it, but okay.
Van de Beek thing still makes no sense to me. He has a lot of questions to answer. The Van de Beek thing, the not starting Varane or Sancho, the bringing in Lingard and McTominay. The substitutions just did not make sense to me.
Like, we'll get to Chelsea, but they started Lukaku already, and we're not starting Varane or Sancho.
Lukaku's only been practicing for week 2. Varane's been practicing a week 2, but he got his stuff done a long time ago. And
Sancho's been here for
2 weeks,
longer. Yeah,
2-3 weeks. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I said this before. It just shows the difference in between ambitious and ruthlessness of the two clubs. How was Lukaku starting lineup and making a difference? By the way, he didn't just start; he was my man of the match. While Varane
and Tuchel before the game was like, "We brought him to start." Like,
yeah, it's just so,
Ole, come on.
It's insulting to ask the question to him. It's insulting, but and the thing too that I'll be frustrated as a Man United fan. Ole is talking about how the game, what do you say? The game is becoming rugby or something like that, and how Bruno Fernandes was fouled and that shouldn't have been a goal, basically making excuses. He should be, explaining what he was doing, his choices. I still, if I'm a Man United fan, I'd be at least questioning him, But yeah, it's just not a good day for Manchester.
It's really frustrating. Like,
And the thing
The
is,
way they lost too, like
this early
just
into the season, 1 point gained, 1 point lost is basically almost the same thing. You know, a draw and a loss is not that far. This early into the season, it's not that huge of a difference. But
pick a point over a loss, but yeah.
Man United, they move on to play Wolverhampton, I think, next week. Wolverhampton had 2 losses. And I gotta say, there's an impressive loss. Those 2 losses have been impressive losses. So they're not as bad as a team as I made them out to be when I was making my predictions. I think I had them being relegated. A little bit concerned about that prediction, even though they lost twice. But yeah, it remains to see. Man United Wolves, be a decent game. Is it
I
at Old
mean,
Trafford?
at the end of last season, it was Van de Beek starting, and he played really well. Like it was last game of the week, but like that was Nuno's last game, and
Don't
they
think
wanted to win.
don't
He
think Van
played
de
really.
Beek would start. I think he's gonna bring in Varane. I
I,
think he's gonna bring in Sancho and what's it called? And he's I have a feeling he's still gonna go with McTominay and Fred.
yeah, McTominay didn't start because of some injury thing.
Yeah, I have a feeling if McTominay and Fred are fit, I have a feeling he's still gonna start both of them.
He's got to
I have
change
a
that.
feeling. I'm probably wrong. Maybe he goes with just Fred, but who knows? I definitely don't see him being intelligent enough to bring in Van de Beek. If I'm Van de Beek, he gotta go, man, just for his own career. I know it's a little. Well, I'm not gonna say it's early
Even
because
for us, like we
I
can get
was
some
saying
money
that
for him and
I was
get a
saying
defensive
I
midfielder.
was saying this last year during January. So
That
and
was
I was
too early, but now,
it's a
like he
lot
had
of
a good preseason, and he's not even getting 1 minute.
yeah.
He's not even touching the field.
He's wasting a lot of his prime because this is his prime. He's only 23, 24. This is where he's gonna be at his best. But Manchester United, they'll move on to Wolves, and they could go on a good end to the what's it called before the international break. They wanted 9 points, but if they were to get 7, they'll be like, okay, well, we're still building something. It's a lot better start than last season for sure, even though they're playing 3 poor teams, in my opinion. Yeah, okay. So,
Let's move
yeah,
on.
yeah, let's move on here. Chelsea getting the win against Arsenal. You know, I gotta say, I'm about to shred into Arsenal, but I'm gonna give them one excuse here. Arsenal has dealt with a lot of COVID. Ben White being out the day at the game, it was a little tough. It's a pretty tough loss. Having Aubameyang stay on the bench because of COVID, not having Lacazette. They've had. I'm gonna give them their excuse before I tore them apart. Chelsea, I mean, I was easy, didn't sweat after the first 20 minutes. Didn't sweat. A lot of people said the saying. I can't agree with it. Didn't get out of third gear. Didn't get out of third gear. Got the 2 goals.
Arsenal made it too easy
Sat
for
it
them.
back.
Like it was
Sat it
just
back. Too easy on that side. When I keep rewatching the film, I don't know if the blame is for Tierney or Saka not dropping back. That has to do with what Arteta is telling them. What Arteta is telling them. Because to be honest, Tierney keep getting sucked inside but they have already Mari and Holding there. I'm not understanding why he doesn't just take a few steps to the left to make sure, because it kept happening over and over and over again. And if it keeps happening over and over again, an intelligent footballer will notice, okay, I'm gonna stay a little bit outside. I don't think there was not that many penetrating runs coming out of the midfield from Kovacic, Jorginho, or Mason Mount. So I didn't understand why he didn't get sucked inside. The only interior presence was Lukaku. So I don't know why he didn't take a few steps out to the left and made sure that he had a better chance to be able to close out Reece James. It just didn't make sense to me. Lukaku, man amongst boys, completely bullied Pablo Mari, just threw over Pablo Mari whenever
yeah.
he scored that goal. It was just, you can't compete with Lukaku strength-wise. It was just not smart. And that's why the Ben White thing, don't think it would have been that much better, because that's not Ben White's game. He's not going to be able to out-strengthen Lukaku. Maybe he's a smarter footballer than Pablo Mari, so maybe he could have been in smarter areas. But yeah, Lukaku just too strong for them. And
Yeah.
just never got out of fifth gear. Arsenal, there's not that many good players on this team, let's be honest. They're not good enough. It's just simple. And they're probably going to have 0 points during the international break. And yeah, sad for Arsenal. Easy win for Chelsea. Now they get a real test though, because now they have to go to Anfield. So it was key to pick up these 2 wins because it's not gonna be easy going to Anfield. It's not gonna be easy going to Anfield, and yeah, that's gonna be a great game. We're gonna talk
Really
about that.
important game.
We'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about the Liverpool Burnley game. We'll talk about that Chelsea Liverpool game a little bit more in
Uh,
the video.
about these two, like Reece James, both goals came from Reece James, and I felt like the first one was more Tierney's fault. I felt like he should have tracked him because there was no reason why he should have just been tucked in. But the second goal, he had to go in. Like I understand that's not even his fault, but yeah, that's really it.
Hold up. The second goal was the goal that he had to get tucked in. Actually, I didn't rewatch that one. I watched the first one. I didn't rewatch that second one.
I watched it and like he had a reason to go in. I felt like
Okay,
to,
okay.
to tuck in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that first goal, I thought he was at fault. And I also thought too, like, you know, Arteta, he's getting destroyed every. People say the change of formations. I don't think it's a formation. You need to make some formation change to what's it called, to defend the wing backs. You know, you either tell Tierney to cover, you know, be a little bit more on that side. Xhaka to cover the danger on that side because Xhaka is supposed to be that midfielder, that, you know, the center defensive midfielder. Or what's it called?
Wingers get back. Like
Saka. You drop Saka. You make sure Saka follows the wing backs. They didn't do any of that. They didn't do any of that. So, you know, I think Arteta deserves some blame. I think the players deserve the blame. I think Xhaka was the captain. He deserved the blame. If it wasn't, if Arteta isn't shouting out instructions, Xhaka either tell Saka or Tierney to cover Reece James. You know, awful
and I
defending.
felt
This
like
is
in the second
schoolboy,
half their response
schoolboy
was just
defending.
they had no response. They didn't.
Like second half, Chelsea were just, you know,
We're
just
just
coming
playing
really,
around. Like it
yeah,
was
just playing around.
Arsenal
The
had no
couple of
response for some reason.
the
It
couple
was just
opportunities that they had a chance to attack, you know, Lukaku uses strength to get on the end of things. Almost got a third. Brilliant save by Leno.
Leno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Ramsdale signing don't make sense to me, but that's another topic for another day. We'll do another video on Arsenal's problems, but right now it's just, yeah. Good luck, Manchester City. Y'all got next going to Etihad. Good luck with that. Liverpool 2-0 win over Burnley. You know, same thing with this Chelsea Arsenal thing. Comfortable from Liverpool. Real quickly, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best right back I've seen in my life. Probably. Yeah, I think he's the best right back I've ever seen. As a 20, definitely as the age he is, you know, especially attacking wise. You know, I didn't see any of these great right backs, you know. There hasn't been that many great. In fact, you could argue there hasn't been a single great right back in Premier League history. But you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold will definitely be one. Trent Alexander-Arnold will be the greatest right back ever, at least in Premier League history. By the time he retires, just so much quality. His crosses always beat the first man. I've said this many times. He could play in the midfield if he wanted to. That's what he was. He wasn't playing in the midfield, but he was in a midfield role when he got that second assist, you know? Just those little dinks that he has, you know? Get on the ball, first touch, bam, it's in a dangerous area. It's just such quality, always beats the first man on his crosses, you know? Just a great fullback, great player. Liverpool. Speaking of which, Harvey Elliott played really well too. More power, more finesse, more technical ability. I didn't really think he was a good passer, but you know, a couple of times, you know, he got the ball into space. He got Mo Salah a goal that was called off. I thought he played really well. I think Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are two guys that are really gonna pop this Jurgen Klopp. They're both guys that are really good, and I think that they will be the future of Liverpool's midfield. You know, they're comfortable with pressing. They have energy. They have pace, not super pace, but enough pace to play in the midfield. You know, they're good, really two pretty good players. They're both technical. They're both pretty good passers of the ball, get the ball out in space. I like both Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. And you know, Henderson, he's going to be signing his extension soon, which is good news for Liverpool. He did his job. Van Dijk, Matip, not a foot out of place. Both Liverpool fullback, decent. Tishmit, whatever his name is, has been doing eye in Robertson's lost. Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, phenomenal fullback. I think he broke the record, right, for most assists by a defender in his first couple, something like that. He did some record or something. That's just He's too good. He's too good. Sadio Mane scoring goals. If Sadio Mane continues to score goals for this team, if he returns to form, this Liverpool team would be deadly. Van Dijk is back. Mane is back. You already know what's it called. Salah's gonna give you can get goals from Salah. You get goals from Jota. Firmino, you have his creativity on off the bench. Whew, this Liverpool team is deadly, and I'm scared next week. Can't lie, I'm very scared next week because I don't think we could go to Anfield and maybe we could get a point. I definitely don't think we can get a win, honestly. If I have to be completely honest, I don't think we have a shot to get a win. I think if we stay compact,
You have a shot.
I think if we stay compact and we defend really, really well, we can get out of the game with a 1-1, 0-0.
Timo Werner might be important on the counterattack. Would you say?
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
his pace,
he's
that
gonna
could-
start. Yeah, he's definitely gonna start because they're gonna want someone to stretch that back line because Liverpool's gonna come at them at Anfield. But
That's a really important game because it's
I
just
don't.
you guys who haven't dropped points out of the top four, and whoever wins,
Yeah,
they
the
get
thing
a
is, it's a shame.
they
Like
get like a
it
decent
happens
lead.
too early. It's too early into season where it might. I
It
don't
might
think it's
not
gonna have.
matter at the
Yeah, it's not gonna have that big of an impact. It's a shame that it's not happening later to the season. But yeah, I'm still very, very. I'm mad it's
excited.
at
I'm
Anfield. And why
I
do
hope
we
it's a
play them
draw
early?
'cause
We played them early last season too. Come on. They
yeah,
also have us play Tottenham early, City early. They had us playing Arsenal early. Come on, Premier League, give us a break.
it's the opposite for us. It's like
Yeah.
middle is
And
schedule.
y'all still dropping. And y'all
stacked.
still dropping points.
Yeah, that
All
can
right. Tottenham. Quickly, let's go through the rest. Tottenham getting a narrow 1-0 win. You know, I mean,
both didn't
very-
play bad. It was
Tottenham
more.
didn't play
It was
well.
back and forth.
The thing that the game got changed early when they got that early goal. They just needed to see it out. Adama missed another sitter.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just Adama needs to
he
work on
played
his
well
finishing.
too. It's just
He played well. He just needs to work on his finishing. And I like what I saw from Adama because he used to be known as a pace merchant. He's more than that. He's a guy that can get past players, and
that's
he
part
played.
of his game.
Yeah, he's
Dribbling, pass, and
yeah, he's
creating.
pretty good. He's pretty good. He just needs to work on that finishing.
Yeah.
Needs to work on that finishing because that finishing is not there. City destroying Norwich. City just returning to City form. It's not surprising. You don't have anything to say on that, right?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
I mean, they dominated
And
from
then
the first minute till the
Leeds
last.
dominating Everton, 2-2 draw, dominating in possession. Everton taking advantage of their chances. Leeds feeding off the crowd. 2-2. Yeah, Crystal Palace, Brentford 0-0. Didn't really watch that game, so I can't speak much of it. But I guess a good result for Brentford, home away from home. 1 win, 1 draw. 4 points good for them for the first 2 games. On their battle. I actually think they're definitely staying alive. Leicester, West Ham tomorrow, real quick. Leicester, West Ham.
I'm gonna say like 2-2 draw.
Let me see where's the game. That's a really good game. Those are like, in my opinion, of Man United. Let's say if Man United were to completely drop off, I'm not predicting if they will. Those 2 teams and Tottenham are the teams that I think will battle out for that 4th spot. If Manchester United were to drop off, or if Chelsea were to
I didn't have in my top 8 West Ham, but that was partly because I don't know if they're gonna have Lingard. They still might be good, but
I forgot my prediction.
I had like Leeds 8. I had Arsenal 5.
I had Arsenal 6.
That Brentford game was just bad for them because now they might have like 3 games loses. It's 0 points out of.
So the
3
games in
games.
West Ham, I'm gonna say West Ham 2-1. Last time West Ham completely destroyed Leicester at away ground. It was later into the season, but I'm gonna say 2-1 West Ham. They're both good teams. I think Leicester didn't play that well against Wolves, even though they got the win. And I think West Ham showed a lot of resilience in that game against Newcastle. Yeah, why not? West Ham 2-1. Let the future Chelsea player Declan Rice get a win.
He's valued for 100 mil, so good luck getting him.
Oh, we're definitely not getting him this summer. Probably next summer, 2 summers down the line. All right. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with another video.